across the sea of character sheets, deep in the forest of D20s lies the mountain of source books.
Welcome to the Mountain of Source Books. We hope you enjoyed your climb. My name is Jeffrey Vincent Dale, and as you can hear, I'm at the tail end of recovering from a cold that I got a couple of days ago. Thankfully, most of the symptoms are gone, just a little bit of a roughness to my voice. Today is our first gameplay episode. We're going to begin our actual play of Monster of the Week with a character creation session. Now, we're not going to do this for every system. It's pretty much only going to be for more story-focused systems like Powered by the Apocalypse, just because of the importance that these rules place on story as part of character creation. So this session, it's going to be a shorter episode, entirely focused on explaining who these characters are, how they met, and what their deal is. And then next week, we're going to continue our gameplay by diving into the mystery from the Tome of Mysteries, referred to as the Crystal Assassin. Now, unfortunately, you're going to notice right away, as soon as we get into the gameplay, that the audio quality for this one's not the best. We recorded this first before anything else, and it was before an equipment upgrade. Now, I have done my best to try and clean up the audio, but there are definitely going to be times when the volume's a little bit low. There will also be some times where you hear sounds that are a little outside of our control that came from outside of our recording area. Due to improvements in our soundproofing, you should not hear any more problems with that either. Next week, we'll be right back to the audio quality that we've had in previous episodes. So if you decide a couple minutes in that you're just not quite feeling this episode and you want to skip it, we understand. We're not gonna be too upset about that. If you do, then we hope to see you again next week. But for those that are sticking around, let's dive right in. All right. Start by introducing everybody.
I'm Jesse. I'm the one with the inconsistent voice. I'm playing the Gumshoe today.
I am Miss Teach. I will be playing the expert.
My name is Steve. I'll be playing the Chosen.
And my name is Jeff, and I am the Keeper.
It's too dramatic for you. I'm sorry.
Tone it down.
All right. Now we're going to go over the details of everybody's characters. Jesse.
Okay, I'm playing Private Investigator Ann Huck. The Gumshoe is kind of interesting. They have a code that as long as you do that, you get bonuses. My code is protect the weak from the strong, which does not necessarily mean what you think it means. But I also have a couple other abilities. Every first time I observe a monster, minion, or phenomenon, I can ask one question from the investigation list. I have Naked City, which is a really weird choice of a name, but yeah, it lets me have contacts in places. So I have one for occult, one for forensics, one for police, local, and one for conspiracy theorists, because those are the type of people you talk to when you're looking about supernatural stuff. And then I have, and one more thing, which is where you ask leading questions and make a charm check in order to determine additional questions you might have.
All right, and Teach.
Alright, so as I mentioned before, I am an expert. Basically, the expert, they have dedicated their life to the study of the unnatural. The way I designed this character is mainly magic and healing. So, 2 moves I have. It wasn't as bad as it looked. That's a healing move. Basically, I roll, and if I am above a 9, I think, I'm able to stabilize and heal the person. I've got preparedness, which when you need something unusual, it can appear right in front of you, or I know where to find it, so that'll come in handy for magic and potions and etc. I've got havens, basically places where I can go or I can send all of us to go, and we can stay safe, we can be healed, and we can do research. I've got a magical laboratory for research, panic room for essential supplies and protection, and I've got an infirmary for when we are dying.
Which will likely happen.
Yes.
Also, a curious question. So does that mean we're all in whatever city we are from? Because if not, I actually really like the idea that your character just kind of makes these spaces when you go on investigations.
Just safe houses everywhere.
Just
Well-
build, yeah.
What my understanding of the expert was, because they are the study of the unnatural and because they're so magical, it's like they pull it up.
Oh, okay, so it's like a actual spell thing.
Yes.
Okay, no,
That,
that's cool. That's
yeah, that was my understanding. And I'm sorry, my name is Dr. Margaret Grace.
All right, and Steve.
Okay, my character's name is Frank Davis. He's the chosen, since his birth is prophesized. And with my abilities, only I can save the world. If I fail, everything is on me. Only me.
No pressure.
No pressure. Well, one of the fun things is I cannot die until it says I'm supposed to work out with the keeper. There's something I'm destined to do, and until I do it, I can't die.
Okay, that'll be very useful.
After that, then all bets are off the table and I can die. At the beginning of Mysteries, I could roll the dice, learn something about something happening in the immediate future, and I kind of just chose this guy to be a damage dealer because he could just inflict more damage. He has a magical sword.
That's actually pretty good all around there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Considering we didn't really have anyone consult with each other.
Literally
beforehand.
nobody talked to each other.
Pretty well balanced, considering.
I think literally the only thing is I noticed you said expert, and I'm like, okay, well, I definitely won't do that. And I was like, just looking, I'm like, oh, I kind of like Gumshoe better anyway.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm just going to choose two other classes that are the expert, and then if Jesse chooses one of them, I'll just pick the other.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm pretty sure every time we have ever played a game together, I'm always the healer because
Yeah.
honestly, I suck at playing the other types. Like, literally any other type. If I'm not playing a healer, I just don't know what to do. I'm bad at it.
To be fair, I'm really bad at everything. I don't ever get to play, so I end up sucking at every single game I play.
That's why you choose a character that can't die, like me.
I technically could have. There's an ability, I can't remember what it's called, but there's an ability the Gumshoe has where once you open a case, you can't die all the damage. You'll die at the end of the case, or until you break your code, which is one of the reasons why the code's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's called The Long Goodbye.
That's the one.
Alright. Next, we're going to move on to characters' histories. So now you guys are going to decide if you're all in one place or if you're moving around, how long you've known each other, and stuff like that. Each of your playbooks should have questions.
I can start then. So I got a couple questions. So the first one is, this is my favorite one. You are on the same or rival bowling teams. Ask them what bowling-related disagreement rubbed them the wrong way.
Oh, that goes great with my character.
And then you first met on an unsolved crimes website. Decide together what infamous crime fascinates you both.
I like the Unsolved Crime website.
Okay, so we followed very similar methods, which is even funnier because my character actually gets her jobs from the research her wife does because her wife is a combat librarian. So the idea that however we met on this website, it was for something that was not actually an actual investigation.
I kind of like you said bowling teams.
I love bowling teams.
I
It's
like
so
that
good.
one.
No, the question is, were we on the same team or
Ugh.
rivals?
My character doesn't go out into the world. They literally just hang out in
No,
libraries.
That's even more hilarious.
We
No,
could-
the website thing works for us very easily.
Okay.
But me and her.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, it's for two different ones. Yeah,
Okay. So what website was that again?
it was just some for unsolved crimes.
Unsolved Crime website.
Unsolved crimes.
Yeah, I feel like it would have to have something to do with the supernatural, or it was assumed it involved the supernatural for some reason.
We'll come up with that later.
Yeah,
That-
we'll
that
come
can
up
be
with
a
that later. My
world-building
brain's
How
not-
much
question.
does supernatural like occur in everyday life in this world?
We can decide that.
Okay.
It's enough. I do this on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming the base level is kind of like around where Supernatural is, where it's kind of all over the place, spread out, so people don't typically see it, but there's plenty of it if you know where to look and how to look for it.
Okay, but our bowling disagreement.
Went over the line.
Yes, no, yeah, no lines, perfect. Now, would you be the person who would be upset about the line, or would I be?
My character could be, yes.
Okay, because my character is Again, very Columbo, so less likely to care about specific rules.
My backstory of my character is they grew up as a kid, and it's like, how'd you find out? Some weirdo told you. So I'm like, some religious guy was like, oh, you're the prophesized one, and then the whole church came and built me up, and they're like, you're going to save the world on June 15th, 2003. And on that day, I was all ready to save the world, fight the Ancient Eva, and nothing happened. And they were just like, oh, yeah, you did it. And the people in charge were like, yeah, you saved the day. And I was like, but nothing happened. And, other of the followers were like, yeah, that wasn't anything. And then everything kind of fell apart after that because I didn't do anything. And the crazy pastor couldn't convince everyone that I did. So then I grew up and got married, had some kids. Wife left me because I was still kind of a bit crazy from growing up thinking I was this prophesized one.
I love the roller coaster. Oh my god! But one of the things I really like about this is it's not very clear if you are actually the chosen one fated to save the world to you or like, anyone else. Because the people you learned this from died. But as a character, you are. You just don't know what it is.
I was going to say, yeah, someone came up, I was, my weekend with the kids, and someone was like, no, he did the math wrong. It wasn't 2003. It was 2023.
That honestly tracks.
But, before that, I could see he's just living this mundane life. He was, cotrained and fight as a kid, and he has a magical long set.
Yeah, you have actual magic. We know this is magic.
But...
But you were supposed to save the world nearly 10 years ago. Or 20 years ago at this point,
yeah. They are destined to be your mentor. Tell them how this was revealed. A rival at first, but you came to a working arrangement.
So that one for you two, obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, we could have been rivals at first, but you came to a working arrangement.
I was prophesied to be your mentor because my character is actually 90 years old.
Great.
That actually works really well with the histories on yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you want to do the rival at first?
No, I'm 100% on board with that one. The minute you said that, I was like, yes! The bullying thing is the most important part of our relationship.
They are your student, apprentice, ward, or child. Between you decide which. So let's go with apprentice.
Yeah.
That one works pretty well.
And then...
I was like, unless we're both part of the same group.
Yeah, so
how does the website thing work?
Well,
do you want to go with advice or
I feel
secrets?
Like we've worked on stuff before. It's just that that's how we met. Also, my character isn't that old, but is significantly older. It's been not quite a decade since she was a cop, but still. It's been a reasonable amount of time.
So you want to go with...
I can't remember if exactly what it was. I think it was... I helped you find a specific artifact, I think it was.
A singular item.
Yeah, I'm 100% fine with something like that where we worked on the same. And that would be up to you what you want to have in your thing for your use.
I'm probably gonna go with something for the magical laboratory.
Okay.
Yeah, all kinds of weird ingredients and tools useful for casting spells. So I'll go with something like that.
My character kind of does a sort of private investigator thing involving the supernatural anyway. So the odds that, yes, we met on a website, but the fact that we would have worked together at some point because of that would make sense. Also, since apparently you don't leave very much, then that would very much likely be, yeah, I'll go get it.
Oh, there you go. And I will get very mad if you do not call me doctor. Because I did not spend... Let's see, I'm 90, so let's say I've been doing this since I was, let's say, 20, so I have not been spending the last 60 years of my life devoting myself to study to not be called doctor, young man.
Alright, so next up is how you all met and started hunting together.
It legitimately feels like we were two separate things that kind of intersected slightly since you two are already, by the nature, working together.
I'm gonna say, when did we meet? Were you already my mentor before my failed prophecy time?
I feel like it would have to be after that.
After that?
Yes. You were trying to figure things out, and you remembered I was destined to be your mentor.
Maybe it was something, if I knew you through bowling, and then somehow you showed me a website and I was, wait, that's the name.
There we go. Okay, so you two met first, but you know of me from
The prophecy, from the
Yeah.
crazy church guy. But I had no idea how to reach you. But because everything already failed, who cares?
For the record, my character is not as unobservant as she seems, so it's very possible she figured something out already.
I'm sure he would just be like, yeah, I had a strange childhood.
So, crazy church guy told Frank about Dr. Margaret Grace. You two meet first, and
Just through bowling.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
somehow
so
she's talking about the website. I catch a glimpse of the website.
Not joking, her going off on a tangent that has almost nothing to do with anything is 100% on brand.
okay. So Frank and Anne meet through bowling,
Yes.
and Frank finds out about Margaret because
Yeah.
Anne goes on a rant.
Yeah, I specifically used your full name. Like, you've actually gone off on somebody, like, instead of using the doctor, so I only use your full name.
Yes.
So, and, like, I'm going off on one of my tangents because that's a thing I do.
Yes, okay.
And then, yeah, I mentioned that. Okay, there we go.
And then the next step is, how did we all meet? So that's how we all know each other.
Yeah.
So you and I
I feel like
Meet
we have
first.
vague. Yeah, I feel like we have a vague working relationship. Again, I tend to make contact, so I just basically run across people regardless of what I do.
So a few years prior to the bowling incident,
Yeah. It just feels like that's the kind of thing I do.
you know of both of our existences. I don't know who the heck you are yet.
Yeah, I think we're the last to actually meet. You might have heard of me with some of the prophecy.
Oh, that's true, because I'm a historian researcher.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go with that.
It's very possible you don't necessarily believe that you're actually supposed to do that, but at the same time, you know you can be a mentor, and
Okay. How about this? After bowling,
it all comes down to the following.
you meet up with Anne, and you all come over to my house library thingy.
I love the idea that I just went there to meet you and brought him along without telling him what was going on. It's just entirely convenient because that's a thing I would do.
Am I supposed to live in my havens? I felt like the havens were separate, and I just called upon them when I needed them. Because if so, I want to live in a spooky mansion library thing.
There's always lightning
Yeah,
that
it
strikes
does.
every establishing shot. It's always lightning.
Yeah, it doesn't say it has to be a separate place. It can be your house if you want.
And there's not a non-zero chance that you can just get there through weird means when you're out in the field.
Okay. Oh, and with the lightning thing, we could make it so every time I say a certain word, lightning happens. I'm so used to it that I don't even register it anymore, but it freaks everyone else out. Now the question is, what word?
The word of the day! Ah!
Oh, anytime I say my name. But it's
Doctor.
not. It's Dr. Margaret Grace.
No,
But
this is a sitcom.
anytime anyone else says it, no lightning. It has to be me.
I'll make sure to splice that in there. So leave space after you say it every time.
That needs to be a thing. Okay, so lightning happens whenever I say my full name. Not when anyone else does it, just me.
Only thing left is player agendas, which is basically just me giving you guys reminders. These are your agendas while you play. Act like you're the hero in this story because you are. Make your own destiny, find the monsters to stop them, and play your hunter like they're a real person. Alright, and that brings us to the end of our episode this week. Now, we've mentioned in previous episodes that you can find us on Apple Podcasts. As of this week, we're not really sure why that's not the case. We're going to look into that, but in the meantime, you can find our other episodes on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Just search for Mountain of Sourcebooks. With all of those, if you could follow, like, and subscribe, that would help us out a ton, as it raises our visibility and makes it easier for people on those various platforms to find us.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at MOSB_22 and to follow our Facebook page, MOSB-Mountain of Sourcebooks, where you can get updates on everything that's happening with us. You can also check out our Mountain of Sourcebooks Twitch stream to watch us play other games live.
We'll make sure to include links to all of those in our show notes to make it easier for you. And with all that said, thank you for listening, and careful on your way back down the mountain.